So, greetings to everyone who is tuned in live, and greetings to everyone who is tuned in to this as a replay. This is Queen Yin here. Welcome to Herbs for Life, the class for tonight, which is a part of the Roots of Wellness membership. I'm super excited to introduce Carol Hunter. She is our resident certified horticulture therapist. But as you all have experienced her, she is also extremely knowledgeable when it comes to herbs. She's a herbalist in training, and she is one who will be the resident herbalist as well, who will be able to really talk to you about how to use herbs for your everyday wellness and when you're having to do something if you are experiencing disease or ailments or illnesses. And so, without further ado, I'm moving out of the way. Carol, greetings. How are you?
I am well, my sister. How are you?
I am doing very well. You're looking beautiful and well. So excited to have you.
And I pray that everyone else on this call is well. And if you're not feeling at your best, we're going to share something this evening to help you along that journey.
Absolutely. So before I get out the way, let me just set some expectations. If you have any questions as Carol is presenting, by all means, you can put them in the chat room. I'm kind of moderating that. Also, we can absolutely engage in the chat room. I'm watching that and engaging with you. But Carol will also give a few minutes at the end for Q&A as well, that we can see those questions in the chat room and answer those questions at the end. So you can ask your questions, put them in the chat room, and then at the end, we will make sure we do our best to acknowledge those questions. Okay, I'm going to move out the way, Carol. The title of this session is Herbs for Life. When I asked you to do this session, I said whatever you'd like, and this is what came up. Like, well, let's talk about herbs of life. So, the floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the reasons why I chose Herbs for Life, because I wanted to find a gentle way of opening people up to thinking about how do I incorporate more herbs into my total areas of life for well-being. When I started on this journey, as a horticultural therapist, my number one goal was to help people to connect with nature, connect with plants for health and well-being. Horticultural therapy is this long therapeutic word, but all it really means is employing practices that use our plants and plant related activities for our total wellness. And so when I started down that journey, one of the first ideas that the creator gave me was doing a program called Tea Time. And that's where I introduce people to nature through herbs, herbal teas. I know a lot of people enjoy drinking tea, herbal teas. And so I wanted to explore how do we create herbal teas that work for you as an individual? What works with your body? And as I began to do those workshops, more people started asking me about the herbs as medicine and what do I take for this and what do I take for that. And based on my knowledge, I was able to share, but I really didn't have the confidence to do it as a certified community herbalist. So give thanks. I'm on that journey right now. I'm excited about everything that I'm learning. I hope that this will inspire some of you to think about really getting more deeply into herbs, herbal medicines, and holistic healing as a way of life. So, all of that, got that out of the way. I want to open you up to about 5 herbs that I'd love for us to look at tonight. Rooted in wellness reminds us that nature already provides what our bodies need to thrive. You've heard this quote, Hippocrates, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Well, I think it should say, let plants be thy medicine and plants be thy food. The medical world extracts chemicals from many of the plants through various methods to create medicines. About 25% of the medicines we use today are actually derived from plants. Medicines are prescribed in their specific doses, and therein lies a part of the problem. With plants, Plants, it's hard to prescribe a dosage. With plants, it could be different by the soil that it's grown in, the time of day you're harvesting it, the variety of the plant. Most plants have several different varieties of the same thing. And so it's hard for our medicine world, our FDA, to really regulate plants. But plants work with the body for healing through their bioactive compounds. They can support the immune system, reduce inflammation, provide antioxidants. They work by either providing compounds that the body can use, such as mimicking our own body chemicals or replenishing them. And then they also help by helping the body fight off the causes of illness. And you might be familiar with some of these. I tell you, one of my first experiences was with aloe vera. And I heard aloe vera could heal and things like that. And I had an aloe vera plant that I was growing because I love growing house plants. And so had a little cut on my foot and decided to try this aloe vera. Put it on my foot, and the next day there was a scab. Blew my mind. I didn't know things could heal that fast. But that really made me start thinking about, okay, what are some of these properties in some of these plants that really work for our healing? So tonight I want to introduce us to 5 herbs. I've chosen these herbs because they are time-honored herbs. Each has deep cultural roots. It has very tried and tested healing power, and everyday uses can help us for nourishment as well as balance. The very first one is holy basil. Holy basil is considered a sacred herb in the Hindu tradition. It's also called the queen of herbs. It's one of the oldest ones that's been used for thousands of years. One of the reasons I like it is that it can be grown right here in Georgia. You can grow it in a pot, or you can grow, a lot of it out in your yard. And I think it's so important that we're able to utilize herbs that are right where we are, grown in our environment. Some of the benefits of holy basil is going to reduce stress and anxiety. It supports your immune system. It supports respiratory health. It balances your blood sugar and inflammation. So if you are one who um, is pre-diabetic or you have diabetes. I had a young friend of mine who had diabetes and started just drinking straight holy basil tea, had terrific benefits for him. So all of these things, though, with holy basil, this is one of those herbs that benefits you over time. So, and it's safe to drink every single day if you wanted to. It also is an herb that I like to use when we do tea blends as one of the foundational herbs. So there's so many different herbs you can pair with it. One of the things I want to share with you today is think about pairing Tulsi and a lemon balm tea. This would be great to support at night, helping to calm you down if you've had a busy day, or if there's a lot on your mind, really helping with clarity. And of course, it'll support your immunity. The second one is mullein. Mullein is growing in our community right now. It is originally native to Europe and Asia, but it's been naturalized in the United States. Mullein, if you've ever been out in nature and you see this beautiful leafy, long leafy plant, but it's got like fuzz, a very soft fuzz on the outside of it, that is mullein. When mullein goes to seed, it shoots up this long, straight stalk. It could get about 4 feet high. In ancient times, it was used as a torch. So they light it and use that at night. So mullein is popping up in our community right now because one of the things it's good for is soothing coughs, colds, and irritated lungs. Mullein is also one of those herbs that can be used for earaches, for minor skin irritations. The leaves can be dried and also used in a herbal smoking blend for respiratory cleansing. Just lately, I've been pulling mullein because my grandchildren had colds, but I started feeling like, okay, what can it do for the skin? So after I extracted the tea, after soaking it in some water for tea, I took those leaves, which are really full and still pliable, and just rubbed it on my skin. And you all, I was so amazed instantly. It was if I had this deep moisturizer on my skin. And so I've been thinking about ways I can incorporate mullein to support my skin as well. Mullein has antiviral and antimicrobial properties, and it's another one of those herbs. While it's there for specific reasons, you can still take some mullein every day, or even 2 or 3 times a day if you're trying to get rid of a cold. The third one you guys are all going to be familiar with, garlic. Garlic, again, grows in this area. Garlic, we all use it in food. All cultures have used garlic in their food. When we think about garlic as medicine, think of it as a strengthener for your immune system. It helps lower your blood pressure. It helps lower cholesterol. It has antimicrobial and antifungal properties. My daughter creates a cough medicine for the grandbabies using garlic and onion and a little bit of honey. Um, Garlic also detoxifies heavy metals. Now, when you get into using it for that kind of work, you're going to have to take it in high doses. And instead of just taking it in your diet as food, that's when you want to think about getting your garlic capsules and things like that. But to up your garlic in everything you eat, it's a great way just to start fighting off illnesses. Um, Whether it's your salad, your soup, your greens, just throw in a couple of extra garlic pieces. The next one is ginger. I love ginger. Ginger is another one of those ancient um, spices. And you all, when we talk about herbs, we're talking about um, plant material that comes from either the root, the leaves, the stem, or the flower. All of these things can be used in as different forms of herbal medicines. So with ginger, you're using the actual root. Now, mind you, when you grow ginger, you can also use the stalks. It has a very mild ginger taste, but it makes a delicious light ginger tea. So if you're growing it, always think about how can I use all parts of this plant. But ginger is, as I mentioned, anti-inflammatory. It aids in digestion, relieves nausea. Something you may not know if you're a traveler and you get the motion sickness, ginger is excellent for that. Ginger also supports blood circulation and joint mobility. Ginger will often be paired with turmeric. And turmeric is another one of those herbs. It's a root that actually helps with pain. If you ever come to Oyun, we're growing ginger and garlic. I'm sorry, ginger, garlic, as well as turmeric right now. And so you'll see what that plant looks like in the ground. Um, Ginger also is good with colds and bronchial congestion. And again, it boosts immunity and energy. It's one of those warming things. So that's how it boosts your energy. It warms you up. Um, Ginger is really great if you have any kind of stomach issues or upset stomach or even acid reflux. After you finish your meal, just take a cup of ginger tea. Ginger and turmeric, as I mentioned, are good for digestion and easing joint pain, but ginger with a little lemon and honey is an excellent tea, very soothing tea for after your meal. The very last one I want to talk about is hibiscus. And if any of you are from the islands, you know all about hibiscus. I wanted to include this one today because we're coming up on the holidays, and this is a great herb to utilize in some holiday festive drinks. It originated in the tropics and in Africa, but you can find hibiscus worldwide right now. It also can grow in Georgia. It needs a lot of sun and a lot of heat, but it can grow in Georgia. Um, Hibiscus is very high in vitamin C. It's tart, it's tangy, it pairs well if you want to use it in jams, sauces. The leaves of the hibiscus plant are really lemony. That's another way you can utilize it if you have access to fresh hibiscus by using those leaves in salads, fresh in salads. And of course, it can be used in mocktails, cocktails, as well as desserts. Again, it's going to lower your blood pressure and cholesterol. It's rich in antioxidants. It also supports the liver and hydration. If you, it's good tart, but as I mentioned, some like it a little bit sweeter, adding honey or agave or anything like that can make it a nice, welcome drink, either cold or hot. These are the 5 herbs that I wanted to share with you today. Each one of them is easy to incorporate in some way in your diet or in your daily activity. We have these herbs in different herbal blends at Oyun as well. So if you'd like to come in and sample some of the blends that we're already making utilizing these herbs, I hope you'll do that. When we start talking about herbs, you all, there are literally hundreds of herbs that are all designed for our health and wellness. I try to encourage people to look at things that, one, are easy for you to access, that you can pick up and you know you're going to utilize, and also look at those things that grow in your area. Um, right now, with where we live and on the internet and Amazon, we can get whatever we want from around the world. But it's really important to look at what grows in your community, just like eating food that is grown in your community or in your locale, because your body, remember, is a system. It is not separate from the environment, but a part of that environment. So when you start eating and drinking and partaking of those herbs that grow in your environment, it all works together in harmony. So I want to open up now to take some questions, um, whether they're from the chat or you want to open up the mic in, however you want to do them.
Of course. So listen, the chat room is open. Thank you so much, Carol. I know for many, some of them were a reminder, but how many of you, this was your first time hearing about any of the herbs mentioned or some of the benefits? Or how many of you felt this was the needed reminder for you to incorporate things that you already knew? I know for me, I am reminded to put a chunk of ginger in my bag to make sure that I have that at home ready for me for my teas, just to incorporate that more. We are seeing in the chat room a comment, great info, Carol. Mullein was new for me. Okay, so
Mhm.
for at least one person, mullein was new to hear about. So I'm definitely opening up the chat room. I'm going to look for your questions here. We do have one already. Crystal asked, "What's the best way to make clove tea?" Okay, she want to hear about clove tea.
So the easiest way to make any tea, you want to bring your water to a boil. You don't want to ever boil your herbs, especially if they're your leaves. But bring your water to a boil and then pour it over your tea, your seed, your flower, whatever herb you're using. Herbs, and think about this with your cloves, that's got a real hard outer shell. So with cloves, you want to let them steep a little bit longer, 10 to 12 minutes to get the full benefit. And I'm not sure why she's drinking her clove tea, but I just want to add into with I love about cloves. Cloves are also good if you have a sore throat, if you have any mouth sores, any mouth pain. Doing a gargle with those cloves is good. and then swallowing it, just drinking that clove water, it's going to the antibacterial effect will really work down through your system.
Excellent. Thank you for asking that, sis. So we're gonna put clove on our list too. And that's a good pointer for you to highlight, when it comes to create making your tea, because sometimes we can think boiling the leaves or boiling, and we want to bring it to a boil first and let it steep. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. And so and some of them I heard you say you want to let sit longer. So I'm imagining anything that has a harder shell or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm,
Got you.
mhm.
Okay, we have another question. What if I'd like to mix clove with burdock root? How much of each herb for how much water?
So the general rule is 1 teaspoon of dried herb to 8 ounces of water. If you're using a fresh herb, then think about 1 tablespoon. And that's the general rule. She said burdock mixed with what?
She's mixing clove with burdock root.
Okay, so burdock root is going to be a bitter herb as well. Clove is going to have a warming feel. So a lot of that also goes back to taste. If you think about your burdock as your base, you're going to want to use your clove to offset it if you're trying to get the balance of taste. So I would do two parts burdock to one of clove, and I've never tried it before, but that's just the idea of where to start, and then you
Right.
come back and let us know what really worked.
Love that. But thank you for giving us the general rules to these though. Can you just repeat that? I know, can you just repeat what's the general rule you were talking about part to part?
Right, so one teaspoon of a dried herb. Remember that dry is going to be, everything is more concentrated in that dried herb. If it is fresh, then I do 1 tablespoon. You're going to need more plant material to get the same effect.
Okay. Lovely, lovely. Do you have, while I'm at it, or while we're talking about this, when you're using dried roots, is
Mhm.
there a technique to use to steep or to create that root tea that you're doing? So say you're making a ginger tea, some people will say, boil the root, while some say, no, just juice it and put it in your tea. Or, would you have any guidance on how to make the root tea, for those who are using just the root for the tea?
So I'll have to be honest with you, it depends upon what root you're using. And this is why I mentioned earlier, if you really want to get deep into utilizing your herbs for medicine, it's really good to get into a program or get with a herbalist that knows some of the nuances of all of these things to kind of help with that. General rule of thumb is just, and this is really common sense. If it, and when you buy a lot of your roots online, remember that these roots have been, they may have been sitting for quite a while, okay? So the potency on them may not be as great as if you're getting fresh or root that someone has grown locally. That's usually going to be more potent because it has been sitting for months and months and months. But if you're getting offline, yes, you want to let those steep longer. If it is leaves, about 5 to 7 minutes. Some leaves, the longer you let them steep, they'll start to turn bitter, and you don't want to do that. But at least 5 minutes is a good amount for leaves and flowers, which are going to be more delicate.
Mhm.
Now, the mullein, the sister we just talked about, the mullein, I actually let that simmer up to 20 minutes. When you get the mullein and you see that fresh leaf is very, very thick, and I wanted the strong medicine out of it. So I let it simmer for 20 minutes.
Okay, love that. Thank you. Another question. What are some of the best tools or sources to help us learn how to recognize both the herbs you mentioned tonight along with other herbs?
When you say recognize, are you meeting in the wild?
Do we mean in the wild? What can we talk about in the wild, and then maybe also like at the farmer's market or wherever? He said yes.
Yeah.
He said
So
yes, in the wild.
in the wild, and we call that foraging. So it's really, again, this is one of those things you can, I have an app, and it's called Picture This. And when I'm out in nature, I'm always
Yes, you
snapping
are.
with
Yes,
the,
you are.
okay, okay, you don't have to second it.
If you see Carol, she's snapping something that she sees.
But I love having that app because there are a lot of plants that mimic other plants.
Mhm.
Actually, a lot of weeds will grow that look very similar to an herb, will grow right next to it. It's using that herb to protect itself, to look, we could do a whole lesson on how the plant life uses other plants to avoid certain things, keep
That's
pests
amazing.
away.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, it really is. So, when you're beginning to do your own foraging, I definitely say there are books out there that show you pictures. Um, you can also smell. I don't advertise tasting because there are some things that are poisonous, so I wouldn't advertise tasting it. However, get get connected too with some people who forage and start learning some of the best things to forage. Now, we've got some things that even when you're at Oyun, um, talk to our farmer, and if I'm there, I would love to walk you around and show you some of the
She
things
really
that
would love it. She really would love it.
so look, they look like weeds or they look like plants, but it's actually medicine.
I love that you love it too, Carol. I'm so happy that you love it because I learn so much every time you come by. It's amazing. Can you name the app again, just for those who maybe wanted to know the app that you like to use?
The one I use is Picture This.
Okay, picture this.
Mhm.
And I'm sure it gives, a lot of information about different things.
Yes, and now none of these things are 100% accurate, but this one more than any of the others I've looked
Mhm,
at is
mhm,
accurate.
mhm.
And what I love about this, not only does it diagnose, identify, but it'll diagnose, it'll tell you if a plant is healthy or if it's not healthy, and some other things like that.
Okay, excellent. Let me see. Says I'll take you up on that. Walking around, I guess the tour at OU. Yes. So by the way, FYI, Carol is here every third Saturday of the month for her horticulture therapy session. We're so grateful for that. It is open and free to the community. Of course, we encourage donations because all donations go towards supporting our horticulture therapy program, which gives us amazing classes like some you have already been to with Carol. So you definitely can see Carol, visit Carol, participate in some of her sessions on those third Saturdays. The only time it doesn't happen is if it just cannot. So if she's traveling or, she sometimes get booked and busy. And so she has to go across the nation to give out all of her love and skills. But she's very dedicated to that, and her sessions have been amazing. Also, you can find Carol here every third Thursday. So mark your calendars. Every third Thursday, she does tea time. Now, tea time is an absolutely dynamic experience. You meet with Carol. She's going to tell you about different herbs. You make your own tea. You get to mix your own tea, and you commune with like minds, which is so beautiful in this space. That's one of the things everyone love about it because you can just meet people who have the same interests. And so it becomes like, a little family. You end up meeting somebody you may want to keep in contact with. So it's networking opportunity as well. So definitely mark your calendar for that. Every third Thursday is tea time. Every third Saturday is the horticulture therapy class with Carol, which is usually something very hands-on, something intriguing, and it's family friendly. The children love to come out and do the activity. They get very engaged, believe it or not. So they're very excited to do that activity as well. And by all means, I think a lot of you are already on the newsletter. That's how you got this information. But just make sure you're keeping up with the newsletter and if you don't know, we have our events calendar on our website. So just click the events calendar every now and then just to check out to see what we have going on. We had a couple other questions I saw, Carol. One of them was, is it okay to drink turmeric tea every day?
It is now, this is what I would say about turmeric tea. Why are you drinking it? Um, if you are drinking it for pain, so let me back up a little bit. When we take in our herbs, remember they are working with our body, okay? If you are one who is experiencing pain and you're utilizing the turmeric for to reduce pain, to reduce inflammation, then by all means, keep drinking it as long as you need it. Okay. There are no negative contradictions to turmeric. But the reason why I asked, do you need it? Because if you're drinking it every day and you don't need it, if you get to a point that you do need it, it may not be as effective in your body because you've already always had it in your system. And so you need to add another layer of something else to address pain.
Excellent. And I've heard with turmeric that it's very important for you to add black pepper to activate the
Absolutely.
medicinal properties. Is this true?
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Someone in the comments shared a program that is available. So check out the chat room. We already see that's why community is important. We get to share our resources. By the way, I want to mention again that this class is a part of our Roots of Wellness membership, where you get classes like this bi-weekly with some expert, some kind of expert, where we're talking about holistic wellness. My whole goal in creating this membership is to share what I have experienced over the last, let's see, I have gone natural, holistic. My son was 8, he's now 20, so about 12 years. I remember he was 8 because he was like, Mom, are we going to eat salad all for the rest of our lives? I remember he asked that when I went, because I obsessively went to like only salad and smoothies and natural again, when we're first learning. And he went and told his father that I was like depriving him of eating. So I was like, come on, like, don't do me like that. But anyway, so I have learned a lot, have had to learn a lot. My son was one that he has, he only knows natural practitioner. I'm very happy about that. He only knows natural practitioners. There's a lot of things he did not experience when he was younger that I cannot say because I love my platforms that I'm on and want to stay on them. But he has not gotten any of those, and he has been absolutely thriving in his life and his wellness. So I'm very grateful to learn what I learned at the time that I did and to become conscious of natural
Mhm.
ways of healing ourselves. And I have been blessed to meet people like Carol, who I can consider to be my big sis, who is showing a great example of what it looks like to still maintain your wellness up in your years and be able to, thrive as we experience more years. I don't use those other words, but experience more years in this physical experience. And so it's very inspiring. And I really pray to see that more and more and more, because I don't think there's an age that stops us from having a very thriving and inspired soul. But a lot of people are not able to live out their soul's inspiration because of their wellness. And so this is one of the reasons why Roots of Wellness was created. You can absolutely learn more about Roots of Wellness at the link that I'm going to drop in the chat room after I finish my shameless plug. But I'm going to get back to the questions now that I'm done with that shameless plug. But I really would love to see you in the community. It is a community. It is on an app. You will have access to a chat room, courses, pre-recorded content, live sessions, live classes like this, recipes, all type of goodness to make sure that you're able. And I can give you access to the practitioners that I do know. I know quite a few here in Atlanta, but I do also know some key ones in DC you will never hear about because no, to be honest, you all, there are many natural practitioners out here who have been practicing for over 20, 30, 40 years, but they intentionally are on the hush. And it's the reason why they're on a hush. It's the reason why they're on a hush. Okay. To stay safe and to stay in practice, their
Mhm.
word of mouth. And
Mhm.
so you're going to get the word of this mouth on who some of those people are. If you are looking for a natural practitioner, a naturopathic practitioner, because I know a lot of people are. And there is a network, and you just have to kind of know the community that knows those people and get those resources. All right, what are some of the? Okay, I already asked that. Someone asked, "Are we growing hibiscus and mullein here?" We do have some baby little plants coming up from mullein that we're gonna let thrive. Carol, let's make a decision what we're gonna do with those before the frost. Are we gonna pull them up and plant them somewhere so they can, that's what I
Mhm.
think we were
We're
talking
actually going to pull them up and dry the leaves.
about.
Okay,
Okay,
so
okay.
that's probably what we're going to do with those.
Okay. And we're
Um,
not growing hibiscus currently, but and Carol, can you talk about when I know the site that you were affiliated with before, they would grow it. What
mhm.
season was hibiscus growing for?
So remember, hibiscus is a tropical plant. So we have to start hibiscus really early. Like as soon as that last frost, we want to get hibiscus in. And if we do it then you would be harvesting hibiscus, September, October, November. If you put it in once it gets hot in the summer, it's not going to have enough time to flower. Remember what we're using as the tea is actually the flower, the seed, and so it's got a bloom, and then you're going to be using that part. And I don't remember the scientific name. Please forgive me.
Yes.
Try to
It
remember.
is, and it is one. And I found out, I said, what? That ain't nothing but a little sorrow or a hibiscus, but it is a scientific name to it. But I'm glad you mentioned that the leaf actually is citrusy. Is that what I heard you say? So
Hmm.
that's great. So as it's growing, kind of like the sweet potato, we can take advantage of the leaves until we get what we're really looking for, which is that flower. I do know that there's a site that I just left last Friday. Mm, Good Samaritan. Good
Hmm.
Samaritan Health Center has a farm connected to it, and they do a farmers market. I want to say on Fridays, but if you look up Good Samaritan, maybe Google Good Samaritan Farm. Um,
Hmm.
I when I was looking it up, I didn't see the actual like the name of the farm because it is connected to the clinic or the health center, but they do allow the public to come and shop at their farmers market. I absolutely saw hibiscus growing at their site for sure. Just FYI, for those who were asking, do we grow it? And as you see, listen, if we're not growing it, we're going to try to figure out where you can get it from because our goal is for you to consume locally grown, natural, organic, chemical
Hmm.
free, seasonal foods. Carol, you
Hmm.
said something very powerful earlier. You said we are not separate from our environment, we are one with it, which makes it very powerful for us to actually indulge in the herbs and the medicines that's right around us. I think that's so powerful. Can you just
Hmm.
talk a little bit more about that and talk about the benefits of eating local, seasonally, and all those different things, or just your journey with it, like why you're so committed to it?
Well, I will tell you, for me, when I first moved to Atlanta, I used to have such terrible sinus headaches. I would have to take prescribed medicines and things like that. And then once I started working at an urban farm, this is you guys about 15 years ago, I started eating the food from the farm, eating in season, and really paying attention to what I was putting in my body. I don't have allergies anymore. I'm eating in tune. I mean, I work outside. I may get an itchy eye or something like that, but I've not had those debilitating. I would get migraines. That's just how bad it is. It's because I am now, my body is in tune with this environment and this cycle. You will read some places online, they'll tell you about, taking in a little bee pollen to help with your allergies. But if you think about it, the bees are pollinating all the flowers, all the trees, all of these things. The same thing that they're eating, you're eating when you eat in your environment. and it works to help your body.
Thank you so much for that testimony. I mean, for me, I just think it's fascinating the fact that it is a oneness, and I think about the mother and the baby, and the bosom. When the baby is sick and it's breastfeeding, the breast becomes the medicine, the breast milk becomes the medicine. And that's how we are. We're children of the earth, and so when I read before that your sweat, your tears, your skin, all of these things are left behind everywhere we go,
Mhm,
and so it literally is programming the ground around you
mhm,
to grow what we need. And I took a class, also a urban farming class, and the instructor was saying, "Hey, if you want your food to be your even more your medicine, put the seed in your mouth, let your saliva get on it, and then plant it in your garden, and it literally like programs the food to be
mhm,
exactly what you." It's a powerful thing. So, so grateful to have people like you who teach us about the herbs, and you are here as a testimony, not just, just what we read, we can see, we can
mhm,
experience you, and thank you so much for doing this class this evening. We have a few more minutes. If you want to pop in some questions, she can go ahead and answer those. I want to say again that you can be a part of this Roots of Wellness membership and get classes like this bi-weekly, be a part of a community, and also get resources, get connected with a network of naturopathic practitioners. Um, for your family, which I think is very important. So you won't feel like you have no other choice but to go to something that maybe you don't have full faith in, to utilize solely. And again, I am not against any form, however people choose, but I am an advocate for
mhm,
for naturopathic medicine and lifestyle, because I do believe, truly, my personal belief is that we have everything we need here to heal. And I think it's time for us to really acknowledge that it's right around us, because I do
mhm,
think with the supplements industry, we have been introduced to herbs and medicine around the world, which I love. But let's not forget that we have medicine right here in our yards, in our parks, in our reserves, in our on the edge of the roads. We see it all the time, especially now that we have Carol telling us what everything is. I also am so I'm so intrigued by the fact that plants mimic each other. I just learned about dandelion and a faux dandelion. It's a
mhm.
I learned from Barbara O'Neill. She was doing a talk, and she said this is the true dandelion and this is the faux dandelion. That's what she said. She basically said they mimic each other, but it's a whole different plant. So I thought that was super interesting. All
Mhm.
right,
Can I drop
yes,
just two
yes,
more
go
little
ahead.
quick nuggets? I saw someone here talked about they're suffering from allergies and migraines. And I just want to encourage you guys, if you're not drinking peppermint tea, you peppermint essential oil is really good with rubbing on your temples, but drinking peppermint tea, drinking rosemary water, it helps to relieve stress, tension, opens up some of those sinuses in a very gentle and natural way. So if
Mm,
you haven't tried that, and when we say rosemary water, we're talking about the rosemary plants. You see them everywhere, taking some of those leaves, bruising those leaves, and just dropping it in your water and sipping it. You can do rosemary tea as well. Um, and of course, your mints, they all are good for that.
the fact that you can grow these things at home, right, is so amazing, because you can grow these in pots, correct, Carol? You can grow them in pots, small pots, bigger pots, indoors,
Yes, and
outdoors.
the rosemary, you're gonna start seeing them pop up at your Lowe's, your your Home
It-
Depot for Christmas. They always put out these little rosemary plants that look like little trees. But if you want to snag one and keep that in your house and just use those leaves during the winter and then plant it outside in the summer if you like, it will be
yes.
beneficial.
And to someone in the chat, I definitely have had great experience with rosemary with my hair and rosemary oil. One of my favorite ones, the main herb she has in that oil is rosemary, and
Mhm.
she also puts a few more in there. But rosemary, I noticed, did very very well. And I started using rosemary water just from one time trying to be fancy at one of our volunteer experiences here. I was just clipping what I just made some for the participants, and they were like, "Oh, this is great!" It just was going on and on, and I took a sip. I was like, "Oh, wow!" And I just realized how close it felt like eucalyptus and you know,
Open
that,
up.
yes,
Uh-huh.
opened it up. I was like, oh man, I never even thought to just take a twig and put it inside of my gallon. And by the way, we do sell herb bundles here. We do have plenty of rosemary here. Again, we are year round, by the way. So some things slow down during the winter time, but we still have things growing here. And we also are gratefully, erecting a greenhouse in the next couple of weeks. So we're super excited about the greenhouse as well. So for those who were like, do you have seedlings? Guess what we're going to have now? Seedlings. So we can have things for you all to be able to grow. Because before we couldn't, we didn't have those, but you need a greenhouse to really have a good amount to be able to sell, and we will have those. So we're super excited about that. Anaya says, I got some rosemary from the horticulture class a couple of weeks ago and it rooted. You see how happy
So
Karen
proud of you,
is? I'm
Anaya.
so proud. So I'm about to have so much rosemary. Yes, you are, girl. When it become a
Beautiful.
bush, we love it. You have to name it, and we're gonna we're gonna send some love out to your rosemary bush that you name. I see you very soon, classmate. Candace says, okay, give thanks. We're so glad that you all have been coming out to the class. Let me make sure I got everyone questions here. This was a wonderful conversation to hear. I wish I'd caught it at the beginning. Thank you, Queen Yen and Miss Carol, and everyone asking questions in the comments. Thank you, Sister. So glad you have enjoyed. Let me know if you enjoyed this class. We say thank you to, I wanted to read this to Carol. Someone said, let me go back. Hold on. How can someone start their study? Okay, she shared that. Yes, only for flower. How can someone, okay. Well, we'll ask it. How can someone start their study to become a certified herbalist? I'm very interested. Someone asked. I'll let you answer
So,
that. Someone did drop a resource, by the way. Look in the chat room. Someone dropped a resource in there, but go ahead, Carol.
well, I would love to introduce you to my teacher, Sister Latifa Hassan. She's going to be doing a class for us in November the
15th.
20th. I'm
15th.
sorry, November 15th.
15th, yes.
The
This Saturday,
medicine,
I
the
believe.
medicine in your spice cabinet. So she's a phenomenal teacher, such a wealth of knowledge. But you're welcome to come and meet her. But if you just want to get started, there is this place called learningherbs.com. It is an online resource. They have literally hundreds of library videos and information. They have a beautiful library of all the herbs, what they're used for, their benefits. And if you want to do self-study, that's a great place to start.
Name that site one more time.
It's called learningherbs.com.
Okay, see, we love it.
It's a
Sharing
it's a
information with
source
each
that I
other.
trust. You
Okay.
will find a lot of folks out
Uh,
there who just
yeah,
put information out there,
yeah.
but these people are time tested and
Mhm.
and very well researched the information that they have.
And this is the benefit. One more shameless plug, maybe not one more, it might be one more coming at the end, but this is the benefit of being part of a wellness community. You can find viable, tried and true, tested resources. That's the other thing that I love about doing these memberships is that I invite experts, people who have been in it, people who practice it, people who love to share, who clearly is passionate about what they're doing. And the thing about those people, they're gonna know resources because they have them. They have the ones that they cleave to, that they use, and we want to hear from them because this is the age of information. So it's so much information out there, but it's nothing like being a part of a community that is from where you're from. You're like-minded, you know, you're going for the same thing, you're wanting the same things, the same experiences. It's nothing like that type of community. So definitely check out that link about the Roots of Wellness membership that I dropped in the chat room. I wanted to share this, Carol. Tracy says, Carol, you are such a warm and captivating presenter and extremely knowledgeable. This was a great class. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I read that to you.
Thank you.
We
Thank
give
you.
thanks. We give thanks for your contribution to this community. Truly, I mean, you have done it tirelessly, you know, for years, and we thank you for all of the classes you do here. You know, I mean, you really
Y'all
just
gonna
pour.
make me cry, okay?
Go ahead, cry girl. You know, you in community. You safe. You safe. We do. We appreciate you. I want you to know. I want you to know. You know, I have seen your journey. I won't get started. I have seen your journey, and you know how I support you. And I'm so happy that you're in what you love to do. In everything that you have been doing here at Oyun, you smile so big. So I know that it's what you love to do. I haven't seen you stressing nothing. Like you, and you be working. You be working now, you know. Carol has a lot of other titles under her belt. Carol is a Umi. She's a farm owner. Your farm is in what city is your
In
farm?
Hampton,
Hampton.
Georgia.
She has a farm in Hampton, Georgia. She's a Umi of how many grandbabies?
4.
Four grandbabies. She has a consultant agency, Seed Planter, which is a consultant agency that will help you to get that dream out of your head and into a strategy that you can work. She's also a certified horticulture therapist. That happened within the last few years, you know. So every time and now she's becoming a certified herbalist. So it's like you're such an inspiration. You're so knowledgeable. You're such a value to this community. We thank you for everything you're contributing. And I just want y'all to know, in order to support Carol, just show love to her programming that she's doing here, which she is making more than affordable by doing it, you know, offering something that she charges for, which is tea time, but then offering something that, hey, listen, if you don't have the resources, one thing we're going to do here at Oyun, you're going to find something that you can benefit from where you don't have to worry about the finances because that's just how it should be. And we welcome you to definitely support us when you can with your donations and supporting all of the things that we offer as far as like products, services, and events. Just making sure I got all of the questions. Anaya says, thank you so much for all of this information. Yvette says, thank you. Kim says, enjoy very much. Give thanks. Erica says, enjoying this very much so. Thanks a lot for the details and feedback. Thank you, sis, for dropping that link in the chat room. Give thanks. Shanique says, give thanks for all this information. This was very knowledgeable. Great coming up on the winter time. I have taken notes so I can educate some people in my family. Give
Yeah.
thanks. That's what we want. Carol, a gem indeed. It's that super full moon energy, y'all. Okay, yes. And we're about to go into a full moon meditation after this. So let me hurry up.
Yes.
Get ready to close. Mama Carol, I added more of your plants to my home Sunday. She sure did. She bought 2 additional plants for her home when
Mm.
she came for the sound bath on Sunday. 2 babies, pretty babies too. How can someone start their, okay, we said we answered that. Where can we get the video to share with others? So I am going to send the replay out in the newsletter. And for those who are already members, I'm dropping this into the app. So for those who are Roots of Wellness members, you're going to see this in your folder. You're going to also get a few other things with this video, those who are already members of the Roots of Wellness membership. So you're going to get this video as well as a couple of recipes for the different herbs that she mentioned, as well as another resource that's a surprise. You're going to love it when you see it, though. So look for those in your documents folder and your course folder. You'll see the video in the courses, and you'll see the other resource in the documents folder. Where can we? Oh, I just answered that. All right. So Again, one more shameless plug. This session was a part of the Roots of Wellness membership that is a part of the Oyun's Well House app. To become a member, you can visit the link that I put in the chat room, or you can visit oyunministries.com and look under memberships, and you will see the various memberships. We have a meditation membership, a metaphysical studies membership, this wellness membership, and a supporter circle membership. So say you don't want to, you're not interested in becoming a member, you're not really, ready to commit to something like that. If you support what we are doing here at OU Ministries, at OU Botanical Gardens, the supporter circle was made for you. That's about $15 every month just to say, hey, I support what you all are doing. Keep at it. And we appreciate that in advance. These are ways that we are structuring to make sure we are able to not only maintain, but continue to grow. We are growing too. So we're very excited about that. And we look forward to sharing everything with you. The next opportunity that you can have to experience Oyun is, of course, Saturday Market. So we would love to see you there. We are year-round market, y'all. You may not see us outside, but we have an indoor space. So we will push the produce inside as it gets colder. And so you can still purchase their produce year round with us. Be reminded, we also have Mindful Mondays every Monday at 6:30, family friendly. I love to see the children coming out and they're experiencing that meditation right alongside their parents and other people in the community. But this is a way to help you to cultivate a meditation practice and mindfulness, what mindfulness is. So it's really just a mindful moment every Monday. And then we have our class coming up with Carol's horticulture therapy class on next Saturday, which is the 15th. And that class, the title of that class is, what is it, Carol?
It is your medicine in your spice cabinet.
Yes, medicine in your spice cabinet. And this is Carol's teacher who's going to come out and do that class. I kind of feel like it's sold out, but listen, hear me out. I'm going to send an email and I'm going to say, hey, if you are not going to come, I need you to cancel your ticket right now. So we had to close it out because it was getting, outrageous. But we're going to see. We're going to see. It might be some more spots. But just always keep out for that because we always have something amazing that you definitely want to be a part of. Lastly, Carol, I want you to share any contact information. You can definitely reach Carol through our website under the team. She has her information there, just FYI. Again, she's here every third Thursday, tea
Mhm.
time, so you can get in contact with her then in person and support her business as well as her ministry. And then on third Saturdays, you can commune with Carol. As you see, she's a whole vibe. Like she really like makes you feel so loved. We love that, Carol, and we love you. Do you
Mhm.
have any other contact information that you'd like for them to have to reach out to you?
Um, I can give my seed planter email if it's something specific that they need to contact me about. And
Okay.
that's seedplanter0105 @gmail.com.
Right. I'm typing in the chat room now. Seedplanter0105 @gmail.com.
Mhm.
By all means, Carol pushes out. So she goes and does tea time around, the nation and other horticulture therapy activities. I know you've done quite a bit with youth, with seniors, with veterans, with big organizations and people. So she does that type of work, pardon me. And her consultant agency works with you to birth your vision when it comes to your business, whether nonprofit, for profit. Carol has quite a bit of history. She's really one of our jewels in the community. I mean, really, really so happy to have you here, Carol, not just as the horticulture therapist and herbalist, but also Carol helps me with quite a bit of the leadership here too, the administration and the leadership here because of her experience as well. So super happy for her being here and being a resource. Thank y'all for joining me. Stay in touch with us through our newsletter, where I always send out anything that we have available for you as a community. For those who are members of the Peace Path group, we will be convening in about 15 minutes for our full moon meditation. Thank y'all for joining me and thanks for y'all showing me y'all faces too. Hey, hey. All right, y'all. Good night.
Good night.